just talk a little bit also about, I mean, marketing continues to be a big challenge for me. And, you know, we have the great idea and we're passionate about the idea, but what we don't recognize are all the nuts and bolts around running a business. So it's different from being good at what you do and turning that into a business.
That is a critical point, because when you start out,
Right. I'm so good.
I'm so good.
And it's so exciting.
It's so exciting.
Right.
And
I
so
have business cards.
Right. That is certainly not enough. So I talk in the book about what you do, what you bring to the business, and how are you going to identify your customer. And when people tell me, my customer is everybody,
That's right.
then I know they don't know what they're doing. Because your customer is not everybody. When I started out, I thought my customer was one person, a type of person. It turned out to be a different type of person. And so, and I learned that once I got into business. So I knew demographics. I knew what that customer looked like. I know how much money that customer spends on discretionary items. Because if I'm not selling food, clothing, shelter, or transportation, that means it's extra money that I'm taking.
Now, do you make a distinction between people who sell services as opposed to people who actually own bricks and mortar? And
Yes.
what is that distinction?
Because the distinction is, if you're selling services, so much of that is dependent upon your credentials for selling the service. If you're selling a product, so much depends upon how well you understand that product and you're able to sell it to other people and get people to pay you for it.
Interesting.
And supply it.
There's a lot of questions that they're going to ask, and you have to know how to answer those questions.
Absolutely. Now, what are you seeing in terms of women and small business, you know, in terms of what you're seeing in the bank and that kind of thing?
Let me tell you, I was thinking about it, and there is this one woman that just sticks out in my head that I met in a previous bank that I worked in, and she started out so small. And at that point, she was doing very small lending. And it is about 10 years later right now, and if I could tell you how she has grown.
Wow.
But when you grow, you need to also change a lot of things that you were talking about before. Before the woman that was sitting here before was saying accountant,
Right.
a lawyer,
Attorney, right.
your banker. It is so important.
Those are your superheroes.
They are so important
That's right.
to have and to talk to constantly. I had introduced her, let's just say, to a lender, and they've become best of friends.
Oh,
because
excellent.
he has helped her, because he knew his business, he knew his product, and he knew exactly how to help her.
Yeah.
So that is so important.
Unfortunately, we're going to have to wrap. You know, this was a wonderful discussion. I'd like to thank our Savvy panel. Mary Zias from TD Bank, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
Christine Dunson, owner of the DD Lounge and Supper Club, thank you so much for hosting us. And please, everybody, come to the DD Lounge and Supper Club and let Christine know that Brooklyn Savvy sent you, and it's 368 Atlantic Avenue. And a big thank you also to Clara Villarosa. She is the author of The First 10 Steps to Entrepreneurship for Women. It is a great book for anyone who wants to be an entrepreneur. Please read it. Men can read it too. And of course, Lisa Bing, thank you so much for being
Always good to be
here.
here.
And I'll see you next time on Brooklyn Savvy.